Haha, we did it.
Haha.
Ha
Hey.
ha ha.
Hey.
Welcome
Haha.
to Don't Worry Wednesday.
Why do you like characters in video games sound like that?
What?
Why do characters in video games sound like that? Like there's just like dead
Ha ha
audio and like you
ha.
put they're like ha ha ha. Hey.
I don't know. That's a good
Yeah.
question. That's a good question.
Hmm. Ho ho. It's like
All I hear these days is all you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
oh no. I'm guessing that's from Marvel Rivals or something.
Yes, that's
Okay.
Marvel Rivals.
I haven't played it yet, but that's just sounds like it would be.
It's fun. If you like, I mean, you liked Overwatch, right? So it's a
Yeah,
lot like
yeah, I'm
that,
sure.
except it's more fun, I think.
Oh, nice. That's
But
great.
anyway,
That's a good answer, Nyansai. Because the voice actors are alone in their rooms and it's awkward. Yeah, that makes sense.
ha ha ha. I'm
Yeah,
alone
you
in
know
my
what?
room and it's awkward.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Link has
literally
a
awkward.
strong advantage.
Who?
Just having Link from Zelda
Oh,
never says a line ever. He talks to hundreds of people, never says a single word. They say everything.
they talk to him. He says nothing. You are absolutely right. I can't think of a
Yeah,
time when Link has said something.
yeah, yeah, really weird. Somehow it works, and
That
it's
is
really
weird.
great, actually.
It's kind of like it's kind it's kind of like the old Grand Theft Auto games. I think
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 3, the guy had, he just would like stand there and everybody would tell him what to do and he would just like and
It's great.
it's
That's
like
hilarious,
that it's
actually.
like that in Red Dead Online as well. Like you never say anything. Your character just goes around and everybody talks to you and tells you what you need to do, and then they're like, "Oh, silent, huh? Well, I like that. Just go do just go
Nice.
do the work or whatever." Right?
Oh, yeah, that's great. I like it kind of break the fourth wall there. That's good.
Just sits there and like my character looks stoned. It's kind of funny. Like I don't know why. So he's just like, hey.
That's good.
It's funny.
Yeah, man.
Anyway,
That's funny.
welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. This is the show that is all about you guys. You guys, your topics, the stuff you're going through. We would love to hear from you. You can go to don'tworrywednesday.com, click the submit a topic button. If you scroll up in the chat, I think Saule put the link up in the chat. Yes, there it is. He did. Or you can get the link in the description, I'm sure. And yeah, so we are currently out of topics on our feed over there, which is totally fine. We can just take them from the chat. And you guys can just send us in the chat what you want us to talk about. Or you can go to our website, don'tworrywednesday.com, click the submit a topic button and submit a topic that way. And we can totally do that too. So as Saule says in the chat, we are not professionals and the information we give is not a substitute for professional advice. We're just trying to give back and support you as you're supporting us. All of our information is for entertainment purposes only, and you probably shouldn't listen to a word we say. And there, now no lawyers can come after us. So anyway, if you do have some kind of a problem, then you need emergency assistance. I know there are hotlines out there.
We
That
are not that.
we're not equipped for that. So call the hotline, whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
Depends on your country and so on.
Probably. I think you're
Yeah.
right. It depends on the country you're in and all that stuff. So
Might even depend on the state,
maybe.
depending on what kind of hotline you need to call.
Right. Well, so our advice is not a substitute for professional advice. But hey, sometimes what you really need most of when you're going through some kind of a challenge is you need friends that support you. We want to be those friends, even if for just a couple hours to talk through some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And we just want to surround you with love and encouragement and help you know that you're not alone, whatever it is that you're handling. We love you, and we hope that whatever it is that you're facing, you can get through very well, and we know you
Mm,
can. We know you can.
yeah, that's right.
Everything in life is temporary.
Except for your soul.
That's true.
Sorry, that's the only exception I could think of.
Yeah. I remember being really upset about that at one point too, where it was like, "Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I'm gonna exist forever." Like I don't like,
I don't want to do that. Yeah, well, here you are.
and I didn't ask for it either. I didn't
Yeah,
ask.
well,
Like nobody asked me. Nobody asked my permission. I just all of a sudden here I am. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be here forever. Okay, cool.
I just imagine you get to heaven and you're just like, wait, so I did ask for this? Why did I ask for that? What's wrong with me?
Like, dang it. Or it's like sometimes it's like, but I didn't ask for that. And then it's like, well, you asked for this, and that is the logical outcome of this.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well,
Right.
that's how it goes sometimes. Yeah, you prayed you wanted to be a saint. Well, this is the only way left, brother.
Right.
I'm like, this
Which
was
is
the only
why,
plan.
right. Which is why I would be very careful if you ever pray for patience.
Ooh, yes, because
That's
you
really
will.
tough because
Yeah.
then it's like it's like you're gonna have chances to learn patience, to exercise patience, and it's gonna
Mm,
stink because it's like
yeah.
I didn't want actual patience. I just wanted to get over this thing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't want the virtue. Come on.
right, exactly. It's like, well,
Oh,
that's the
yeah,
only way
that's
to get there. So there you are.
mm,
But welcome everybody. Welcome Neonsai, August, Saule, Akiri, Kaz. I think
mhm.
that's who I've seen in the chat so far. Akiri says I have so many worries. I'd take a year of Don't Worry Wednesday. Oh my gosh.
Hey, we've been doing it for years,
We
so if you want to take a whole year, go for it.
yeah. We're in our I think
Because we're out of
this is like
topics.
the 7th year
Hmm.
that we've been doing this.
We're gonna go for another.
We're yep.
Might as well.
I think we probably will. So
Yeah.
yep. So we'll be here. And yes, and we're really glad to see you guys. You know, the reason we
Mhm.
do this is for you guys because we love you and we want to share some
That's
of the
right.
wisdom. We don't do this for us. We don't do it for money. Obviously, we don't have a big enough channel to do it for money. But
Hmm.
yeah, feel free. You can post stuff in the chat. You can send us don'tworrywednesday.com. Go there and put topics in there. And we'd be happy to talk about whatever it is. Neonsai needs a tutorial on how to organize thoughts, how to decide
Mm.
on something and be sure of it. Oh my gosh. And Akiri says you have two main worries. And um
Oh, we. Oh, wait, no, this is the old topic.
what oh, the one that was in there? Yeah. That was from
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah. I'm gonna quickly just get it out of there.
Yeah, get it out of
Last
there, man.
taken care of. All right, date answered last week.
Go for
Boom.
Akiri's because I got a journal and I'll figure it out. Yeah, I'll tell you. Okay, well, here you go, Neonsai. How to decide something and be sure of it. Sorry, I don't have good advice for that. Because many times I've made decisions and been absolutely sure that it was the right thing, and turns out it would like blow up in my face. So I guess I guess I don't know how to advise you there, but sometimes, like Ryan says, you just got to make a decision and make it the right decision. Just
Yeah.
stick and keep going and do it. And if it
Yeah.
turns out to blow up in your face, then take it as a lesson. It's hard to not beat yourself up sometimes. I struggle with that big time. Um, but yeah, you got to talk to yourself about it. That's
Mhm.
your advice for yourself? Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's
I don't
hard.
know. Are I talk to myself all the time. And then people are like, well, that doesn't make you crazy. You're only crazy if you answer yourself. Well, what if I answer myself?
No, of
Because
course you
I
answer
do that
yourself.
too. I talk to myself and then I give myself the answer that I think it is.
Yeah, that's good. There's nothing crazy about that.
Yeah. All right.
That's good. That means you're productive. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay. Akiri says, my first worry is in a few days, it's going to be another anniversary of my loved one passing away, and I'm still not over it. Oh my gosh. I'm so
Painful.
sorry. I'm so sorry, Akiri. That can be really painful. And sometimes it's not easy to get over stuff and it takes forever. And sometimes there's always just an ache there. Um, but a lot of times things do get better over time. But Nyansai says, you're not being over it just shows how much you love them. I don't think you need to get over it. And that's very true. Because love can really hurt. But if it didn't, then it probably wouldn't be love. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's really painful.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I have a pretty slow rhythm when it comes to getting over things too. It seems to take me a long time. And that's just it takes me a while to get into a mode, and then it takes me a while to get into a different mode, right? So it's like these could be weeks and months and maybe sometimes years that go by and it's still there. And uh it can be so hard. Um but yeah, I don't know. Ryan, what do you got to say about that?
Yeah, I think I would agree with Nyansai on this. Of course, it's hard, and the way I think the way a lot of us think, and I know the way I thought for a long time was, if something's painful, then something's wrong, right? And the general idea is like that's why if you touch a hot stove, you take your hand off because it's hurting you, and that's not good. It's bad, so it's wrong. But and I think I've applied that to a lot of my life in order to try to fix things so that there's no pain involved, and I can think about things without having to feel the pain, but still be sincere in my thoughts. But at the same time, I can think of some amazing people. Like, I know you're not. Well, I'm pretty sure you're not Catholic, and that's okay. And this isn't necessarily me trying to get you to be one, but we heavily revere and honor our um, mother, which is Mary, the Mother of God. And one of the things that we contest with is how sorrowful she was or would have been at Jesus' death. And I don't think necessarily she just gets over it,
Mm-hmm.
even though we consider her to be a pretty much like a perfect human being by every standard. It doesn't, not necessarily in the standard of like, oh, she's a perfect basketball player or something, but like by that, I mean, like, not sinful. I don't think that her sorrow was a bad thing, right? It's good that she was sorrowful over these things. And so if I think about that, I think, well, it's not wrong or right or evil or holy or anything to feel sorrow or to not be able to get over it. In fact, I think, like, as I said, it shows a testament to how much you really do care. If one day you do get the ability to think about them during the anniversary and not be sad, doesn't mean that you stopped caring. It just means that your mental thoughts have digested it and so on. But some things can be digested forever and they're always going to be sad. And that's okay. So you can go either way on that and it's fine. You're not a monster if something happens and you don't cry, and you're not a monster if you do cry. It's just these are emotions and these are feelings and these are honest experiences. And so what I would say is this: if you are feeling sad, then one, understand that that means that you cared a lot and you have a big heart and you and you desire them, and that's a good thing. That love is a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, take that away. Take the fact that you can know that you're good, and that there's nothing wrong with you for doing that, right? But it still hurts. And you still wish it didn't hurt, but it does hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other thing to take away from that is this. Just like I said in the beginning, we're brought up thinking if it hurts, it's bad. If it hurts, it's wrong. We're doing something wrong. It shouldn't be painful, whatever it is, because of the stove analogy or whatever. But the reality is, sometimes it hurts when it's right.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the hurt is a necessary part for it to be right, or to be made right. There are terrible things that we wish didn't exist in this world, and they're not good. They just are, right? And we have to deal with them. And when you deal with them, sometimes it hurts. An example is, imagine one of your friends getting bullied. If you step in the way of that, you are giving them the opportunity to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say they do. Does that mean you did something wrong because you got hurt? No. In fact, that pain would probably be, to some degree, a joyful pain. Not joyful because what they did was good. What they did was awful and evil. Hurting you was not good. But the fact that you made yourself a sacrifice for love. You put yourself in the way so someone else didn't get hurt, and you got hurt instead. You stood up for someone. You did something that was beautiful and right, and you got hurt for it. That's life, and that's good. It means you paid the cost for something important. Everything has value in this world. Every good thing in this world has value. And they all cost something. And because all value has a cost. That's how something has value, is its associated cost to some degree. Some things cost infinite, and so it's infinitely valuable, right? Like life. And so this infinite hole in your heart, of someone, is in a way the cost. It's not a cost that you chose to pay. It's not a cost for anything that, you chose or you did, but it's the feeling of value that is there. And it's beautiful. And it's so infinitely amazing. This love and this person. And they're missing. Of course that's gonna feel painful. Of course. That's so valuable what you had. So it's okay. It's okay that it's painful. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to hurt. Because that's part of what makes us realize that things have value. Without that, it would be hard to tell the heart. It's hard to communicate with your own heart, with what's valuable and what's worthless, and what do you like and what do you dislike. And, that's all a part of it, you learn what you don't like because it tastes bad and you don't like that. You learn that you don't like when you lose a loved one because it hurts, it feels bad, and you don't like that. You learn what you like because you do like that. You feel it. And that feeling is important. Now, sometimes that feeling can be misleading. It could be something we chase beyond its ends, and we chase a feeling more than the thing that we should, like human being. And, we mess things up. Sometimes we get the feeling thing a little bit wrong, and we make it our whole life, and that's not good. But generally speaking, barring that you have a strong conscience and you have a strong desire to love, and so on, your feelings can tell you a lot of value and show you a lot of what is valuable in the world, especially to you, and the things you should be looking at. And so when you feel this pain, it doesn't mean you should look away. Sometimes it means you should look deeper. Sometimes it means, there's something there to dig at, and you haven't gotten the nugget yet. So maybe, Akira, what you need to do is press on. Press into it. Lay into it and figure out what that nugget is. What's that? Why is it painful? What's it there for? Is there something more? Is there something more here? Am I being called to chase further? Am I being called to do something with this? Am I being called to love again? Am I being called to something else? Through this experience, examine it. And it's going to be incredibly painful. And you don't have to examine it. It's okay that it's there. I'm just saying you can. You have the opportunity to. And it's up to you what you want to do with that. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, all of that is just unpacking what Nyansai said in short. I think it's not wrong. It's not a problem to be solved necessarily, but it is something you can look at and you can feel, and it's okay to feel that.
Hmm.
And you're not any bit wrong for feeling it. And so, if one day you kind of get over it and it doesn't bring you sadness, it brings you happiness because you can think about, man, that was great. We did so many lovely things together. There's so much beauty there. There's so much value that they gave me and I was able to give them, and the value that our lives, had, and what that's going to do for the rest of my life, and then everybody I meet from then on, how their life echoes into mine and throughout everybody I meet, because I'm a changed person. How the impact they had in their life and all of that it did, and you can think about those things and celebrate them. And now, obviously, there's no way you can know everything. It'd be impossible. It's basically another infinite. But what you can do is you can recognize that that's the truth, and that their existence in this world and the love that they shared through it, and it's just infinitely impactful throughout the whole world. And celebrate that, to be joyful in that. Maybe that's where you go, and you don't feel that deep sorrow anymore. There might always be a sorrow. There, of course, always be a sorrow, likely, but it won't be as painful or unbreakable or just like a solid wall that you can only stare at that and you can't see behind it. Maybe someday you'll see through that wall and you'll see the joys that they gave the world, that they lived and gave to the world through just them being them. You know, maybe that's where you'll go. I can't say.
Hmm.
All I can say is, if one day you get over it, good. If you get through it farther, awesome. If you don't, awesome. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. Um, yeah, I think it's worth trying to dig into it, but there might not be any more to it. It might
Mm-hmm.
just be what it is, and
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. It's okay. It's an important part of life because life is valuable, and sadness shows us that. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's enough to take away from anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've got on it,
Cool. Thank you,
and it's
Ryan.
incredibly sad. So I'm very sorry to hear that, Kiri.
Yeah.
You're lovely.
Yeah. It is hard. Akiri's been in the chat. See, problem is it's debilitating. Like it's actually difficult of me to live with it. And I can definitely understand that. When it's getting in the way of your normal day to day living, at that point,
Yep.
you might consider talking to somebody about it. Maybe a professional, maybe a support group of some kind. I know here in the United States, there's a place called Ellie's Place, for people who have lost loved ones, especially in like an untimely situation, where it's a young person that passed away, um, and it's pretty hard, to deal with. And so there are support groups out there that, so you can talk and you can cry and you can grieve together and you can recognize that you're not alone. Okay, you've been in therapy for 3 years. Okay.
Mm.
And hopefully you're making some headway with that. But I remember that was kind of like the wake up call for me when everything was getting so bad and spiraling out of control. It was like, okay, now I can't go to work and do stuff. Like I'm not productive anymore. It's getting in the way of my relationships, with my kids and with my friends, and like all this is happening. I need to talk to somebody, and figure this out. And I was struggling with a great deal of anxiety and depression. And so the therapist I had, we worked through a lot of stuff. Um, If you have not seen an improvement, you've been with a therapist for 3 years and you've seen zero improvement whatsoever, it might be worth looking for a different therapist. There are therapists out there that it's not of interest to them to make you better. They want to keep you as a patient or as a client or however you want to call it, but they want to keep you on their client list because that's how they make money. And so they don't want to lose you. And so they don't really have an interest in helping you get better. And that's a sad truth out there that some therapists think like that. Now, I got lucky because the therapist I had was in a hurry to get everybody off her client list. Now, not in a hurry, not like, oh, we're going to rush you through this, but like what she wanted to do was really help do the things necessary to get through those processes and heal, so then you wouldn't have to be on her client list anymore. Okay, they all did their best. 4 different therapists. Gotcha. Okay. And sometimes it's just we're stuck.
That's good.
And I can totally understand that, but it sounds to me like you did say, Akiri, that you have this thought always coming back that I could have been better for her, even save her maybe. And that guilt, to feel like somehow it's your fault that you didn't do better. I remember my aunt breaking down because one of my cousins passed away. My cousin had Down syndrome, and a lot of times their life expectancy is a little bit less. And she had been in a wheelchair most of her life too. So there were a lot of issues with this cousin of mine, a lot of health issues. And she lived until she was in her early 20s and then passed away. And I remember the day of her funeral, and my aunt was just crying and saying, I could have done better. I could have done better. And it's like, no, there's no way you could have done better. You did everything you could with the power that you had. You did your best. And I mean, I would ask Akiri if, with the knowledge you had at the time, did you do your best? Did you do the best you could? I mean, I think probably you did. With the knowledge and the skills that you had at the time, most of the time we do the best we can with what we have, especially in painful times with a friend that's going through struggles or issues or whatever. I can totally understand the guilt of thinking, oh my gosh, I could have done better. But what we do is we end up looking at it with our knowledge and wisdom that we've gained since then. We look at ourselves now and we're like, oh, I could have done this differently. I could have done this differently. But it's like, I didn't know what I could have done then. Yeah. Akiri says, I did my very best, but I was already ill and it wasn't enough. And I understand that feeling. Oh my gosh. That is so hard when you feel like you're not enough. Because I feel that constantly. In fact, I'm going through a program on an app right now called Work with Shadow. I found it. I've done a few different programs, that are supposed to help you get your head thinking right and whatever. And this one's actually been very effective. And how I can tell it's being effective is because it's really, really painful. And it's really, really hard. And I find myself in a really messed up state of mind sometimes. And what that tells me is, yes, that means I'm getting at the roots of the issue because it's emotional and it's painful and it's hard. If it was easy, I don't think it would be very effective. But I've already noticed that in these things, like they call shadow work, it's a lot of times working with your inner child, kind of like reparenting your inner child, because a lot of our wounds, even if we had great parents, and I had pretty great parents, but we run into things in our childhood that, set up our life scripts for the rest of our life. And unless we challenge those, a lot of times we can live with, issues that we don't even really understand because we don't necessarily remember what happened. And so we have to dig into what caused me pain then. And so I don't know. we're not sponsored by them or anything. This isn't a shout out or an advertisement. I'm just telling you, this is what I'm using right now, and it seems to be effective. It does cost money. But I've noticed that there's a lot of benefit that's happening as I challenge a lot of these old childhood wounds and stuff like that. So a lot of times, but it can be guilt, feeling like I didn't do enough. I wasn't good enough. I could, like I could have done better. Blah 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 blah. But Akiri, you said you did your very best, but you were already ill and it wasn't enough. Well, you did your very best. Angels can't do any better than their best. Nobody can. And so I want you to know, Akiri, that it's not your fault. It's not your fault. What happened is not your responsibility. And sometimes that's even more painful because we hold on to the guilt and we hold on to, oh, I could have done better. I could have changed it. But when we realize it's not our fault, that's almost more painful, and we cry even harder. Because then it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I was helpless, like I couldn't have done anything because I did my best and it didn't change the outcome. And so then we feel a little bit powerless. And sometimes, and I know in my life, that's like me trying to be in control of things. And I have to remember that I can't. I can't control anything. I have a hard enough time controlling myself. How am I going to control the world around me? How am I going to control another person? I can influence another person, for sure. We all have that ability. But when we get into like being out of control like that, sometimes it's hard to surrender and remember that we don't have control. We don't have control of another person's decisions. We don't have control of the world around us. We don't have control of traffic. We don't have control of how long it takes to do laundry. We don't have control of so many things. I will beat myself up. This is crazy. This is silly. This is like a little idiosyncrasy that I have. Like if I'm making macaroni and cheese, and every time I make macaroni and cheese, when I'm scooping it out of the pan, I drop at least one noodle on the stove. And I get so mad at myself. But it always happens. And I screw it up, right? I know that's a silly little thing, but it just goes to show the depth of my disorder here in my brain, where it's like I'll be so mad at myself and I'll beat myself up over a noodle. What do you think happens in my head when it's something important? Right? So Akiri, I understand. I understand your pain. I understand the struggle. And I'm really sorry. But you're not wrong to feel pain, like Ryan was saying. It isn't wrong for you to feel that way. And it also isn't wrong for you to get better. Because sometimes we hold on and we feel like if I feel better, I already feel guilty because I didn't save this person, or I didn't change what was going to happen. Even though I did my best, I still couldn't change it. So now something inside us can hold on and say, well, if I let go, that's another failure. Like if it gets easier and if it doesn't hurt as bad, then I failed them in some way. And that's an incorrect thought process as well. Because we are designed to be able to heal and to have things get better. And sometimes it takes getting a certain amount of information. Sometimes it takes, hanging out with friends. Sometimes it takes even just a little bit of a distraction to get us through some time, because time can heal as well. But a lot of times, I mean, if you've been dealing with this for a really, really long time, and I see already in the chat that, you already foster a little bit of guilt for this. And oh my gosh, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to hear that. It's heartbreaking to go through it. But I want you to know that it's okay for you to heal. As Kaz said in the chat, they'd want you happy. They would want you to be happy. They wouldn't want you to hold on to guilt. They wouldn't want you to feel powerless. But I know sometimes we think, oh my gosh, if I get better, then it means I didn't love them. And that's a lie. It's not true. Because of course you loved them. You love them still. And healing doesn't change that. That remains no matter what. But Akira, again, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh no. Honestly, I don't know if she'd want me to be happy. I'm sorry. I understand that feeling too. When you think back on a friend or a family member or somebody that, maybe is not with you, maybe they pass away, or maybe you're just not in contact with them anymore, and to think in terms of that person not wanting you to be happy, that can be really painful too. I'm sorry. I wish I could give you a hug through the screen. Wish I could cry with you, because this is a really heart-wrenching thing to go through. And I feel you. Yeah, August. It does hit hard, doesn't it? I remember when I first heard that it's okay to feel better, and I'm like, wait a second. You mean I don't have to hold on to this guilt? I don't have to hold on to this shame? I don't have to hold on to, this feeling of failure? No, you don't. It's okay. It's okay to get better. It doesn't change how much you love them. It doesn't change how much you did for them. Man, Akiri, I'm so sorry. I wish there was something I could say that would be some kind of a consolation. I know you're in a deep spot. I've been in some pretty deep spots myself, and I know sometimes when we get there, we're almost inconsolable. It doesn't matter what somebody says. It doesn't matter what happens around us. We're just in that state and in pain. And so we just sit there and we cry. Or we sit there and we try to cry and we can't. I've experienced that too. Where I couldn't cry. Like the tears just shut off. And I knew I needed to cry. I knew I needed that release of tears. I needed to weep heavily. And I couldn't. And it was all just staying inside. And it was all just building, and it was like all this pressure in my chest and in my abdomen, and it go up my neck and in my head. And it's interesting because as I go through some of this shadow work that I'm doing, I'm also doing some somatic meditations and healing, and it's really focusing on your body and where you feel this stuff. And it helps you to focus in, okay, so I'm feeling this pain. I'm feeling this because of this situation, right? What does it feel like in my body? And so you in my chest, all right? and it's kind of on the left side of my chest. And then sometimes I'd be like, oh, maybe I'm having a heart attack. Maybe I can, maybe I'll get out of this
Wow.
easier,
Wow.
But,
Okay.
but then, dang it, nope, I didn't have a heart attack. It was just stress and anxiety and pain and no, you didn't ruin the mood. Akiri, this is why we're here. Not at all. Yes. You didn't ruin the mood at all. This is why we do this. Because we dig into these painful times. We dig into this stuff and we try and help and offer some love. Mainly, Akiri, what I want you to know is we love you. And you are so valuable. You don't even have any idea how infinitely valuable you are. Yes, August. Yep. We go where no one else goes. We say things that would get us canceled.
Sure we do. Luckily, we don't get paid.
Luckily, we're small
So
enough
they
we
don't care.
fly under the radar, man. And so good luck
Mhm.
finding us. But once you found us, we go to these places. And it's okay. But sometimes like right now, like I can feel tears like forming in my eyes. And I'm like,
Yeah, I can see
man,
that.
you can see it?
Yeah, I can see that you were going through it, man.
Oh, don't. No. You're not supposed to be able to see it.
Oh,
You don't see that. You see nothing.
I lied.
Sometimes I hate being an empath, but that's like the
Hmm.
curse of having empathy. It's like, when you hear somebody's struggle and somebody's challenge, it's like you feel it inside and it burns and it hurts and it so Akiri, it's totally okay. Totally okay. You didn't ruin the mood at all. And we love you. And the onside says, just because you are grieving doesn't mean you are taking something away from us. In fact, you are bringing importance to us. Yes, we are learning about you and ourselves simultaneously and learning new things too. Absolutely. I'm blind and cannot see it.
That was for the
yeah,
water, yes.
you can't see it. That's right. Yes, not every conversation and interaction needs to be mindlessly bubbly. That's for sure. You got to deal with serious stuff. This world, it comes with some crap sometimes. It really does. We get wounded. And we're not here to shy away from that. That's what, I spent a lot of time in the self-help, leadership development, self-help area. And they wouldn't, it was almost like, nope, just disregard it.
Mm-hmm.
If you got
That's how it
something
was.
painful going on, just disregard it. Don't focus on it. Focus on the dream. Focus on the this. Focus on, what's positive and da 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 da. And you can become insufferably positive.
Yeah, a lot of it was like, oh, they just need purpose in their life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, they're feeling like crap. Nah, they just need purpose in their life. If they only had purpose, then they wouldn't feel sad, like just like me, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like that's such honky,
Hmm.
in my opinion. Now, it taught me how to be positive, which was good because I was a pretty negative
Mm-hmm.
person for a long time, right? And
I think there's definitely some importance we learned, without a
sure,
doubt, 100%.
sure, but you can't gloss over the pain
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes you're just in it and it just
There's value
hurts.
there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Akiri. God, I wish I could hug you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm glad you're in therapy. I'm glad you're working through some of this stuff. I'm glad you're trying. And I'm so sorry that it's still debilitating after all this time. Honestly, most of the time, I mean, you experienced a trauma with this, right? And I don't know if this helps you or not. One of the things that's helped me is I kind of put this together in my head based on other programs I'd been through and other healing journeys that I'd been on. That a lot of times trauma is like a sliver. Did I say this last week?
No.
Okay.
Wait, yes, you did. Yep. Yeah, you did.
Okay.
But that's okay. I wasn't here all of last week. You probably didn't hear it, so it's fine.
Okay. Trauma is kind of like a sliver, right? Like you get it and it hurts. It hurts really bad when you get it, right? At first. And then if you don't take it out, the pain kind of goes away normally unless you brush up close to it. Like if you experience something that's close to it, nail it in.
Like a sliver?
Yeah. But so anytime you come up to something that is even remotely related to this situation, it hurts, right? Because anytime you touch, like if I get a sliver in my finger, if I touch my finger, it's going to hurt because I feel the sliver. And that's kind of how triggers are, right? We see something. I remember seeing a blue house one time and I was all of a sudden just like anxious and stressed and everything. Right? And sometimes we don't even know where those triggers come from. It takes a little bit of time to dig in and figure it out. But I did learn that the tweezers to pull out the sliver is forgiveness. That's removing the sliver. Now, forgiveness, we have a messed up view of forgiveness in our world where we think, oh, forgiveness is letting the other person off the hook. No, that's not what it is. They're still responsible for what they did, especially if we have to forgive another person. But you know what I find? I find the hardest person to forgive is myself. And it sounds like maybe you can relate to that, Akiri. If you're feeling guilt over this, then the person you may need to forgive, maybe, is you. And that's the hardest person to forgive. At least it is for me. I could go into some stories about this, but I'm not going to go that deep because then I might trigger other people. And I don't want to do that. But I will say that as I look back and I remember going through and I'm like, why am I messed up in this way? And I think back and I think back and I think back and I'm like, wait a minute. This is a me. Like I am not forgiving myself. I'm mad at myself. I'm hating myself because of what I did. And I had to sit there with that age version of me. And I just pictured me sitting there crying as a 6-year-old. And I had to like go there in my head, like, okay, so this is me. And now grown up me goes to 6-year-old me. And he's crying. He's just sitting there. I picture him just sitting there on the ground, kind of like, with his legs, with his feet kind of crossed and his elbows on his knees and his head's down and just crying. And I would go up and I would just put my arm on him, put my hand on his shoulder and look at him and say, I understand. I understand you're hurting. And I understand you feel like you did some unforgivable things. But I forgive you. And so sometimes we need to go back and forgive ourselves. And I can forgive anybody, but I really have a hard time forgiving myself. So, Akiri, I hope that can be helpful for you. I hope my perspective can be helpful for you. I'm really sorry because this is a really tough thing. Because not only are you sad about the thing that happened, you're sad about losing your friend, but you're also carrying guilt for it. It's
Mm.
like a double. And it's more than
Triple
double. It's
whammy.
like exponential, you know?
Mm.
So, Akira, I love you. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're going through this. But no matter what you feel like you did wrong, you said above. And so I imagine you believe that you did your best. You did the best you could. And you feel like it wasn't enough. But remember what I said before, how we can't control. We're so we
I think we're okay.
frozen.
Maybe. You might be frozen.
Restart time. I just restarted my computer before we did this. Okay, here we go.
Oh, it looks like
We're
we're
back
back.
up now. We're back up.
We're back. Good.
We're back.
We are back, baby.
Sweet. So anyway, Akiri, I hope that's how you pronounce your name. That's how I
That's how I
that's
was
how I see it
pronounced
and
it.
pronounce it. So
Hope that's right.
yeah. You're not alone. You're not alone. Um yeah. You know, you ever heard of affirmations? You know, like affirmations, right? You say stuff about that.
Yeah.
I recently learned about affirmations.
Oh, carry on.
Yes, affirmations are like what if questions.
Okay.
I was doing this. Somatic healing meditation, and you know they had you havening, self havening, which is like you rub your palms together, and the idea is for it to be nurturing touch, where you can like rub
Okay.
from your shoulders to your elbows, kind of like hugging
Yeah, yeah.
yourself. And yeah, and so while you're doing this, and while you're havening, which is supposed to be like nurturing touch, you're taking care of yourself, and you start using these affirmations like, what if it's normal for me to feel like this right now? What if it's okay for me to feel this right now? Because a lot of times what brings the biggest amount of pain is when we resist the feelings that we have.
Hmm.
And so what if you're okay? What if you did the best you could, Akiri? What if it's normal for you to grieve like this? What if it's normal for you to feel this guilt? And it just shows how much you love and how much you care. It's okay. But you're not alone. I don't know if you have Discord or not, but you can feel free to hit me up on Discord. It sounds like you and I have some stuff in common, at least the ways we think. We beat ourselves up. I've done a great deal of work in trying to heal this. If you want to talk, you can hit me up on Discord. I'm Joe the Pleb. I think that's my name on Discord.
Um. Yep, that's right.
Is that
Joe
what
the
I am?
pleb.
Joe the Pleb,
Yep,
all
no
one word,
spaces,
all
just
lowercase.
all one word.
Yeah.
Yep, all lowercase, just Joe the pleb.
Yep. It's James.
Hey, James.
Yep. So feel free if you want to hit me up, if you want to talk, I'd be willing to talk, you know, but I have as I'm going through some of these things, I'm in a similar spot with a lot of stuff right now. So we might be able to bounce some ideas off each other. But if you want, feel free. If not, don't worry about it. Um So anyway, I don't know. Sorry, I talked forever. I'm really
It was
sorry.
good. That was no, that was really good.
I hope so. I just hope it helps.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah, I
also
guess in the
understand.
end,
I also understand that sometimes when we're in that state, nothing can help. There's not much that can help.
mhm.
We're just gonna hurt for a while, man. Uh, but you're okay. You're okay just as you are, Kiri.
We will love you and we'll take you as you are.
Yep, you're valuable just as you are. You're infinitely valuable just as you are. The world wouldn't be the same without you. This Don't Worry Wednesday stream wouldn't be the same without you. So now we wouldn't be the same without you. And I'm glad you're here. So anyway, Ryan, did you have anything else?
Um, I do, but I don't want to take too long on it. Because Akiri already has a lot of us talking. So
Yeah.
I'll try to keep it short. Kiri, Joe mentioned this, and I'm just gonna write on it a little bit. You said two things here. Well, no, sorry, you said one thing. You said one thing. You said no, there was two. Two things I wanted to say. Um, one thing you said is honestly, I don't know if she'd want me to be happy. And what I'd have to say to that is, who says that?
Hmm.
Are you the
Good
one
question.
saying that?
Good question.
I think that's something you would say, right? Of course you would. I mean, that's the state you're in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's probably, you could say, I don't know. That's fair. I don't know if she'd want me to be happy. I don't know if she'd want me to be sad. I don't know what she'd want. That's fair. But, the way that was said in the response, it kind of was, it felt like it's like, I'm not sure that she want me to be happy. Maybe she would want me to be sad. I highly doubt someone would want you to be sad, Akiri, especially if you guys shared such a bond.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say I know her pretty well, and she probably wouldn't have wanted me to be happy after she died. You know? Well, let's say that's the case. Okay. What I mean, you can convict me for being wrong right there, probably. You'd be like, no, she would never do that. She would never say that. That's mean. But, let's say maybe she did. Okay. I don't think that gives you grounds to be unhappy. Just because someone who you loved and cherished didn't want you to be happy doesn't mean you should be unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that. So, you can't let, not that their thoughts and so on aren't important, but if anybody wants me to be unhappy, generally I'm just not going to let them decide how I feel in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, because that would be just not the best life I could live, or it's just not an important thing to do. It's a, it's a it's a destructive thing to do, right? If like someone hates me and I just go, okay, yeah, well, I'll feel sad because you want me to feel sad, and I do that, well, then that's not the right move. And so, and I know you know this, and I doubt that. I highly doubt that they wanted you to be unhappy. But I know a personal friend who committed suicide, and they wrote a note up towards their loved one saying it was all their fault and they wanted them to commit suicide too, and they didn't want the best for that person.
Oh.
And I know that story, and I lived through that story because I was one of the people involved, and that was a horrible mess.
Mm.
And we had to talk that person out of killing themselves, me and a bunch of her friends. And thank God we did. Somehow we were able to get through to her. Actually, it was because people were crying, and she realized that her pain was also their pain,
Mm.
and that helped her. And so, anyways, I'm not saying I won't say it's impossible, you know, but I'll say it's unlikely that they wanted the worst for you. And if they did, that doesn't give you the grounds to make that happen. It doesn't give you the right to make that happen. It shouldn't give you the desire to make that happen. Because there's a lot more people right here in this chat that would rather the best for you and for you to be happy than there are people that want you sad. And even if there was 0 people that wanted you happy and everybody else wanted you sad, still doesn't give you the right to want to live a sad life, an unhappy life, right? It's still the better move to decide that you're going to be moving forward in life, you know? Now, I don't mean to be insensitive in any of that, but I hope you get what I'm saying. Because you're important, regardless of what other people think, regardless of what other people have wanted for you. And so if you are stuck going, I honestly don't know if she wanted me to be happy, well, why is it up to her? I know you treasure her, and of course that's good. But chances are she doesn't anyways, doesn't want you to be sad. But that's all just, a side thing. That's all. It's like, hopefully that got through in a way that is kind and understanding of the situation, and not too sharp or blunt. But I think we all need to hear some bluntness sometimes. But I don't think it was too blunt. My point is, Kira, you're a wonderful human being, and there's no reason you shouldn't have joy in your life. Right? Just even if someone else didn't want you to have joy and you love them deeply, the right thing for you is not for you to just do what makes you unhappy, right? The right thing is still to try to search for and dive into things that bring joy, right? Regardless of what anybody has to say about it for you. And then the other thing I wanted to say is that we've all talked a lot about guilt, and I don't want to get too far into that, but guilt is a good thing, like many of our emotions. But like many of our emotions, guilt can be used for wrong and it can be used for right. Like, for example, anger. Anger can be used for something good. Your anger could cause you to stand up for an injustice and make sure something goes right. Your anger can fuel you to do good things. But anger can also bring you to do bad things. Things that you'll regret. Things that you'll feel guilty for. Guilt is all the same. Guilt is important. Important. Get that T in there. Because guilt helps us to change and to move forward. And we can use guilt to destroy ourselves. And that's an improper use of guilt. Just like an improper use of anger is to destroy good things. Or to destroy other people. Destroy people's flesh by getting wrathful and raging and, cutting them up. Some crazy, right? Violence. Just as it is, guilt can be used to destroy yourself. But guilt can also be used to build yourself. And the point of guilt is to build yourself. That's why it exists. So when you feel guilty, sometimes we're not guilty of something and we need to readjust. Sometimes we are. And I'm not saying that you are, because obviously you don't have control here. But I think a lot of times when it comes to guilt, we either choose to destroy ourselves with it, let it go, or build ourselves up. And sometimes we feel guilty for things that we have no place feeling guilty for. So what I would suggest is ask yourself, how can I use my guilt to become a better person? And if the answer is, I can't, then the reason is because it's not your place to feel guilty. Generally speaking. It's not your guilt to have. that guilt might belong to somebody else. And you're carrying it for defensive reasons or because you just like to hurt yourself. Because, I mean, I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Joe's been there. We've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to justify something or just be angry at ourselves, or, we're mean to ourselves. And so this guilt might be unfounded. And you might just have to say, I can't use it to make my life better. I can't use it to make other people's lives better. I can't use it for anything good. Then I shouldn't just sit here with it and use it for something bad.
Mm.
You shouldn't use your guilt to hurt other people, right? And you shouldn't use your guilt to hurt yourself, even if it's painful. That's not what it's for. And if you use it for that, that's mean. It's not right. And we all have to deal with that. And you're not the only one doing it. Everybody's doing it. Everyone uses guilt to destroy themselves. But that's not what we should be doing with it. So that's the short of it. And I hope that's useful, because if you are harboring this guilt, that's a real big mountain to tread and try to get over, especially if it isn't your mountain to climb. It can be an impossible mountain to climb if it doesn't belong to you. It can be an impossible mountain to climb if that mountain literally isn't made for you, but you just decide you have it in your life anyways. So I hope you can figure out how to use it for good. And if you can't, to let it go. Yeah, that's what I've got. That's what I wanted to say.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. Akiri says in the chat, let's just say the last thing she told me was insults. So it's a bit hard.
Yeah. Hey, you're not alone there.
I understand that. That is tough when that's like the last impression you have of somebody. That's very tough.
Generally speaking, if people are not at their best when they're insulting each other, and people aren't making the best judgment calls either, so some amount of forgiveness is good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you may need to find a way to forgive your friend for the insults, and also forgive yourself for what you did, even if you figured out how to, sorry, I just saw the chat. Joe has a whole stash. I got more than that, bro. Sexy Joe. Stop. Gosh. Oh my. You threw me all off track.
Sorry.
Miaglios, hello. James, I think I said hi to you. Hi if I didn't. Snowlock, welcome. Jeff, welcome. It's good to see you guys. Akiri, hey, don't be using words like sweetheart in the chat. Come on. I don't want to see that nonsense. Akiri, I understand, and oh my gosh.
Sorry, Joe. Go on.
All right. Now I'm triggered.
Oh no.
Thanks, guys. You're the best.
Great. You're the best, Joe.
So now you get angry, Joe, for the rest of the show. Akiri, I'm
Good.
sorry.
We do have another topic.
Good.
Yeah, I have curated it already.
All right, perfect. Akiri, hopefully that's helpful to you. And like I said, you can reach out. You can reach out here on YouTube. While Ryan was talking, I already went to your channel. I'm gonna actually subscribe to your channel right now. Boom, I subscribed. So at least you have a new subscriber on your YouTube. So,
Yay.
and it's me. Um, so if you feel like you want to reach out, feel free. You can reach me here on YouTube. Like I said, I'm on Discord. I'm on Discord a decent amount, but I'm also really busy. Um, so, but yeah, there are people that love you. There are people that care about you, and people that want to help. And again, I my heart goes out to you. I'm so sorry, and I appreciate you. Staying up late
Mm-hmm.
to hang out
Yeah.
with us and to share a little bit of your life with us.
Yeah.
It means the
Thank
world
you,
to us
Akiri.
that you would do that. Thank you so much. And yes,
Mhm.
hopefully it helps. And keep us updated. And you said you've got another main worry. So you can feel free to send that to us. I think we're moving on to one that we have from our website. Um, you said it is curated, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can come back next week. You can send it to us in on our website, don'tworrywednesday.com. But thank you for the topic. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Yeah. We love you. We
Mm-hmm.
hope that we see you again soon.
Yes,
If you,
absolutely.
I'm not saying you need to go. It is late though, so
Yep.
you're free to go.
And if you're already
If you,
sleeping, I hope you sleep soundly and
yeah,
peacefully
not like a baby.
and wonderfully. Yeah, don't sleep like a baby. Don't wake up every 2 hours crying, hungry, and
Yeah.
with poop in your pants.
Ah, sleep
That's not a
peacefully,
good way to
indeed.
sleep.
Mm-mm. I haven't done that in a while, but I don't ever want to go back. At least the poop in the pants one.
Yeah, frozen fixed. All right, good.
Okay,
Um,
good.
yes. Okay. As Saule says, we are not professionals. Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. We're not professional counselors. We're not professional attorneys or police officers or anything. We can't give you legal advice. We can't give you. We're not a substitute for professional counseling, but we will do anything we can to help with whatever struggle it is you're going through. And you can go to don'tworrywednesday.com and submit a topic there. You can submit it right here in the chat if you'd like. That's how we got our last one. And thank you again, Akiri. If you're still listening, you're awesome. And but yeah, so in the meantime, let's go. Wait, what happened to my? What the heck? What happened to my teams?
Did it just close on you randomly? 'Cause sometimes that happens to me.
Oh wait, is this teams? It is teams. What? Where's my teams? Uh,
I feel like playing the
don't worry, Wednesday.
elevator music.
Wait, wait. What the heck just happened?
As we wait for
General lists. Let's go.
teams to come back online, please enjoy this hold music.
Why did it? What? I am so confused. Don't worry, Wednesday, general. And it keeps taking me to chat.
What?
It keeps taking me to the team's chat. I don't want to be in the chat.
And click on Don't Worry Wednesday topics,
I
and it
can't.
just takes you right. It just weird. You want me to just pay? I'll post it to you. We'll do
You're gonna.
this fixed.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just copy the topic and give it to you over Discord. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
None of
yeah,
the
this is really weird.
none of it. I pressed enter and all that, and then come through on your end, but whatever.
Okay. I have it. Okay.
Okay.
Do you also have a summary?
Yes, I do.
Okay, if you want to send that too, you can.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
all right. So I'm just gonna read this. I can't put it up on the screen, so I apologize. Um, but this is about looks like about a profession. Like looking at a profession to go into. Now, do we know who this is from? Or is this
Anonymous.
anonymous? Okay. So this is from anonymous. Anonymous, thank you for the topic, and we'll read it aloud and we will talk about it. So this is about going into healthcare, and it reads like this: I'm contemplating going into healthcare. I have my bachelor's and haven't even considered it as an option. But recently, I've reflected a lot on my life and realized I've really focused only on taking challenges I knew were comfortable and well within my grasp. If I go
Hmm.
down this healthcare route, I'd be deviating from my previous plan. It would be a risk, but I think it might be worth it. I wouldn't be the best, I know that, but I do have to let perfection stop me from helping people. I'm guessing that means I don't have to, excuse me, let perfection stop me from helping people.
Probably.
I'm scared to try, and truthfully, I'm scared to lose time if I end up being wrong and this isn't the right route for me. I'm already in the general field of health, so I know this aligns with my interest, but I just don't know how to deal with this big risk without fearing for my future. I don't want to go in doubting myself and expecting failure because this feels like a bigger risk and challenge than I've dealt with before. Any thoughts you all have would be appreciated. And that's from Anonymous.
Hmm.
Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you for the topic.
Hmm.
And yeah, so making a change like this is definitely it can be a daunting experience. I'm proud of you for having your bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
Um,
Pretty impressive.
that's something I never got. I was in college for a long time and I never graduated. I don't even have an associate's degree. I don't have any kind of degree. So, at any
Hmm.
time anybody finishes a degree program, I'm proud of you, even if it turns out to not be the right path or not be the same path that you end up taking.
Hmm.
Okay. So, I will just give you, okay. Um, just because we're going to make a change doesn't necessarily mean we're off track. It just means we're making a shift, right? My brother went to college and majored in forestry. Well, first he majored in biology, and then he went and got his master's degree in forestry. And he lives up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, where it's all trees everywhere.
Hmm.
And he loves being out in the woods, and so that's what he did, right? But guess what he does for a living now?
Oh, wrong.
Yep, he owns a fuel delivery company and drives a fuel truck. And he makes more money than he ever would have as a forester. If money is the metric that we're basing success off of, which it's not. There's a lot more to life than just money. Money is important. Money helps us, get through and pay the bills and do what we got to do. But life satisfaction is so much more important than money. And so I'll tell you, sometimes people will go get a degree in a field and then they'll get their job. And they did all this because their teachers and their parents and everybody, their counselors and school administrators and everybody told them to go do this thing because that's what's going to make you good money. You're going to get a good living. You're going to have a good job. And they get done and they get their job and they hate it.
Hmm.
To me, that's not successful. If you hate what you do every day, that's that's I can't get behind that as success. But a lot of times that's where people kind of draw the line. They're like, well, it makes a lot of money, so therefore it's successful. No, true, making a lot of money can be good. But if you sacrifice your mental well-being as to get it, I don't think it's really worth it. So, Anonymous, if you're looking at going into healthcare and you're looking like this is a good path for you and you want to do this, go for it. I would say do it. If you feel a calling to help people in this field, do it. And people might question you. People might be like, well, you did this and, now you're going to switch and you already got your degree in this. Why you don't want to switch to this? And it's like, sometimes you just got to tell people, look, I'm not feeling fulfilled in this area. I need to make a change. And this is where I feel like I'm being called. This is where my conscience is telling me to go. Looks like chat's still working.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
We had a couple of breaks.
Yeah, we've had some weirdness.
Apparently, we're doing a new live stream right now.
What?
So that's why I wanted to double check. Yeah.
Are we?
I don't know if it is on your end, but it's one. I mean, our streaming is. We've only been streaming for 3 minutes, according to this video. So I just
weird.
was. Yeah.
It's still the same one though. It's still the same episode.
Yeah. Same
link
and all that
thing. So yeah, it's weird.
Oh, well.
Okay. Interesting. So anyway, that's what I got to start. I'm going to turn it over to Ryan. Ryan's made some career choices in his life. Made a few of them. He's made some good ones.
I made some okay ones.
You've made some okay ones?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Hey. Nope, you're doing great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn it over to Ryan, and he's going to tell you what to do.
Okay.
And he's going to be real aggressive about it. He's going to raise his eyebrow and everything.
I'm going to tell you what to do. Is that what aggressive looks like? I'm not very good at this.
I love it. It's a good thing you guys made me mad because this topic is good for Angry Joe.
Yeah.
So, all right, Ryan. Beautiful. Have at it, buddy.
Okay. Well, hopefully my anger got through. I'm not very good at it, but there you have it. Aggressiveness.
All right.
Okay. So I don't know where you're from, Anonymous, and I'm kind of curious. And I know I don't expect you to answer me. Please don't, because you're anonymous. And if you did, then we would know. But I'm not sure exactly what you mean by healthcare, because when I hear healthcare, I'm thinking like, I guess, working a desk job and managing money for an organization that takes people's monies and then redistributes it based on how their health is doing and all that kind of stuff, that sort of thing. I don't know if that's the kind of healthcare you're looking to get into or not. I have my qualms with healthcare, but that doesn't mean that it's inherently evil, or is it? I don't know. But I don't even know if that's what you mean by healthcare anyways, because healthcare can be many things. And I know that you're not here to answer, but I was just curious. So anyways, I'll just, because I don't know, I'll just answer it based on not knowing rather than answering based on the job itself, because I don't exactly know what job. So here's my thoughts. I think Joe already said a lot. And as Joe said, I would say it's so much more important to live a life that isn't a slave to money, isn't a slave to power, isn't a slave to fame, isn't a slave to anything, but to live a life where you're free to do the things that you know are good for the world. That's the kind of life we should live, where we're free to do the things we know are good for the world. And it's not always an option for all of us in some ways. Or perhaps it is an option for all of us, but what I mean to say is we all have different ways or different paths for that. And some of us, it's going to be a lot more of a struggle than others. Let's say you're born in Nigeria. You're going to have a different path to what that means. You'd say, like, I want to do healthcare and I'm in Nigeria. Okay, cool. You can do that. It's not going to look the same as if you're doing healthcare in America or doing healthcare in Canada or doing the healthcare in Vietnam, right? It's going to look different. So I guess what I'm saying is it's not always easy, and it's not always available, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. And so if you want to go to school for healthcare, I think, and it really calls out to you, and you think that it's a good thing you can do for people, and you're free to do it, then do it. If this is something you're doing because you're figuring out that you're going to make a lot more money with it, because healthcare can make a lot of money, it might not be the best thing for you or the world, because you potentially have so much more you could offer. And we all have to make sacrifices. You make a sacrifice. Every choice you make is a sacrifice of something else, in a way. It's another route that you don't take, you know? But just because you've been going down this one trek doesn't mean you haven't gotten anything from it if you choose to go down another. And our lives are full of that. Our lives are full of recorrecting our path. What I want to say is probably the best life you can live isn't one where you necessarily choose your endpoint or your lifestyle, but one that's free to choose whichever one is best. And when you live a life, if your life, so I'll give you an example, and it's a rather religious one, and I don't know how to get away from that because that's the foundation I have. But for me, I say keep the main thing the main thing. And for me, the main thing is to live a life that reflects God's love into this world, that is a reflection of God's light into this world, to live a life like that. But you know what that means? It means I have so many options to choose from. But the way that I'm going to do those things that I choose is a way that is directed towards good. Right? And that leaves me free to pick options. It leaves me free to take new paths. It leaves me free to recognize, okay, I wouldn't be here if I didn't take those other paths. I wouldn't have gotten to this concept if I hadn't taken those other paths to get those other concepts first. Right? And from here, you know, in life, man, the path is going to change this way, that way, the other way, always. And in our pursuit of our business for Black Setting and Swerve, our paths have changed countless times from the very beginning to where it is now.
Yes.
And it will always be that way. Yeah. You never know where it's going to turn, where it's going to change, where it's going to be. And even just like half a year. But if your eye is on the goal for something in particular, that's good. But and that's important because that allows you to have the energy to pursue it, right? Because then you have the motivation, the reason, etc., and that's good. But to have the freedom and openness to go, you know, it's okay if I take this path and I find out it's not the right path. It's okay if I do that. Because I'm free to, because one, I kept the main thing the main thing. What is that? For me, it's like I made this choice and I went down this path. But I did it in good heart, in good faith, in good love. And in that process, I was able in some way to reflect God's love on the world. And that's a beautiful thing. And it means that whatever I did was not a waste, that it was a good. Even if it's not, even if my destination changes. So I go down one path and I say, you know, yeah, maybe I want to be a doctor, you know, and then I start going down that path, and then I go, I'm almost to the end, or maybe I get to the end and I'm just like, I did it, but I kind of don't want to be here now. And I go on a different path. Okay, but I know that the way I pursued that was in good heart, good faith, etc. I was a living example of God's love in the world, and I did good things on that route there. And I learned a lot of good things, right? If I choose something else, I'm not losing anything. I'm not losing anything. I'm just changing paths. And the reality is, again, you can't stop that. That's going to be life. Always. You're going to make choices. And you're going to get so far with it. And sometimes you complete it, and then you realize, no, I think I want to do this over here instead. Or, I wish I would have spent that time on this instead. And that's just how it's going to be in life. It is what it is, because we are not all knowing. And we don't know. we learn from mistakes, right? And so you do what you do, and you do it the best you can. And if you find out that, hey, I think I'd be better over here in this field, don't hold back just because it's like, well, I already invested in this, Now, I'm not saying necessarily that you should be reckless, and invest in a bunch of different things and never complete anything. Completing something is already a talent. And you've already proven you can do that, which is great. One of the things I would have to say to a lot of songwriters out there is, starting something is natural a lot of times because you're motivated. Completing something, that's what takes you from the 99% to the 1%. Because most musicians start thousands of songs, and most musicians don't finish one.
Right. And they never release them. They never know where it's good to take
them. They never know where to take them. They never put them out. They never fully finish the job and get it out there. And so I would say, obviously don't be reckless. Finish what you start. But at the same time, recognize that just because you thought you had the answers in the past doesn't mean you have to live by those answers now. Because you can come to fuller knowledge and fuller recognition that what you've invested in isn't the end, and there's something else waiting for you. You could be investing in a dead business idea, and eventually figure out, I've been investing in a dead business idea. It wouldn't be wise to go, okay, well, I've invested, so I'm going to finish. Sometimes you might just be like, you know what? I'm just going to take my loss and go somewhere where it's going to work. And I can take some of the things I've experienced and I've learned along the way with me. And I can take some of the people I've met along the way with me. I can do those things. So it's not a complete loss. You always gain something. But I would question yourself, and I think it's really important. Question yourself, what is the reason you want to go to healthcare? Do you trust that it is the option that leads to the greater good of the world? If it's the thing that you can do more for the world in, or at least you're free to do, in a way that isn't binding. It sounds like you believe that there's something to it that, even if it's not something you're good at, there's something in it that's motivating you to go into it to help people. Because you said, but don't have to let perfection stop me from helping people, you said. He said do. I think it was just typo. But anyways, if you don't want, I'm assuming so that your intention is to help people, and helping people is great. So that's something you can give. And if you go down that route and you find out that, okay, it isn't really the thing for you in the end, and you end up going back to what you're doing now, it's not like you wasted anything. You still helped some people. Or if you don't even get that far, you might learn something that makes you go, oh, no, okay, so I've been given these talents because I want to go down this other route. And that's an important realization. It's an important thing to figure out. So I would say if you're not choosing this because of a reason that is, how to say, putting you in bondage, binding you to something such as, just an obvious one is greed or the need for a certain lifestyle, etc. If that's not the reason for the switch, and you have freedom to do so, I wouldn't say you should. I wouldn't give you a reason not to do it, other than ask yourself if it's the field you really feel like you could help more people in, or better help people, or just the thing you feel like you're being called to. Like there's something special about that 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 you could do in that industry that's important and needs to be done. And if that's how you feel about it, I think that's lovely. I think it's worth pursuing. Absolutely. So, I don't know, to start with, at least, it might be the finish too of what I got, but that's what I got. So,
right on.
I'll give it over to Joe.
Right on. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
And Anonymous, thank you again for the topic. And
yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what's going to come out. I'm feeling some I'm feeling some stirrings in my soul when I
Sorry about that, Joe.
When I come across this type of a topic, because I know, man, like I know what people are told growing up. I know what we're all taught growing up. I'm watching my kids, as I have one kid in high school and one kid in middle school, and they're getting the, all this, they're putting so much importance on a college education and all that kind of stuff. Not to say that college education is bad by any means whatsoever. It just depends on what path you want to take. And it's kind of crazy to me how they just kind of like try and force fit everybody into this little box. And it makes me upset because it's like, what if I didn't want to do that? Because I remember going to my high school guidance counselor, before my senior year of high school, and I remember sitting down, or maybe it was my junior year. Well, that would have been before my senior year, I guess. But anyway, I remember sitting down in his office, and he's like, "So what do you want to do?" And I was like, "I want to be a rock star." And he laughed at me. And I was dead serious. He thought I was joking. And he gave me like the absolute worst advice ever. He said, "Well, you should go to college and major in music then." I'm like, dude, I did that, and I ended up getting severely depressed and like being so out of place and like dropping out after the second semester, or in the middle of the second semester. And then I went back to college and just took a whole bunch of other classes. That was my college career until I found a job that offered, that had health insurance attached to it. So then blah, 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 blah. There's all this backstory, right? But here's the point. The point is, conventional wisdom isn't always the right thing. Like the conventional things that, people will tell you, and they're people that are in authority, whether it's parents or teachers or guidance counselors or administrators or whoever, they're going to give you this advice based on what they know. And then, maybe you take it as literal truth, or maybe you are like me and you take it as truth and you never fit in and you're really frustrated for many, many years. And then you finally get out into the real world and you start experiencing the real world and you figure out it was nothing like they said it was going to be. Like there's so many paths, but they only focus on the one, right? So here, Anonymous, I would encourage you to do this. I would encourage you to go forward. You say, recently you've reflected a lot on your life, realize you've focused on only on taking challenges that you knew were comfortable and well within your grasp. And this one is not comfortable or well within your grasp. You recognize that it might be difficult. You recognize that there's a chance you could fail. There's always a chance you could fail at everything, at anything.
Of course. Even in things you're already succeeding in, just randomly, boom, now you're failing.
Yep. Here's what's funny. Like, we go to school and they make this huge big deal about if you ever fail a class. It's like your life is over. Your life is over if you don't get good grades and get into the right college and become a lawyer or whatever it is, right? Like, no, your life isn't over. There's a million things to do. Some of the wealthiest people in history had like an 8th grade education.
Some of the smartest people in history.
Some of the smartest people in history. Yes. Some of the most brilliant creative minds we've ever seen that have changed the world did not follow the conventional path. And so it's okay to forge a new one. It's okay to change your mind. Now, I will tell you this. So you're looking, okay, so what'd you say? If I go down this healthcare route, I'd be deviating from my previous plan. It would be a risk, but I think it might be worth it. I would agree with that statement. I think it's probably worth it. You're deviating from a previous plan, but here's the thing, like you realize, wait, what was it? It aligns with your interest. Right? That's a really great, first question to ask. Does it align with your interests? Yes. Okay, good. Now let's take a look at the rest of it. So you say you're scared to try, and truthfully scared to lose time if I end up being wrong and it isn't the right route for me. Well, I'll tell you what, if you go down this path and you find out it isn't the right route, you didn't lose time. Because you can take what you learn in this pursuit and you can apply it in a lot of different areas. It's not just the stuff you're going to learn doing that job or getting trained for that job or whatever. There's a lot of stuff that are going to happen while you're going down this path that are going to be important lessons that you can take into any profession, into any career path. But whatever it is you decide to do, it's going to take some focus. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some focus. But you know what? If it aligns with your interest and it's something that you really want to be doing, then you're going to work hard and you're going to lose all track of time, and you're going to be all like, you're going to be involved in it and you're going to be excited about it, and it's going to be great. So now it's not always going to be honky dory. It's not going to be like like every day is going to be a great day, because you're going to struggle. Like, everything that you do brings with it some struggle. And that's okay. That's kind of how it is. It's kind of how it proves its value in the amount that we struggle, and the amount that we work, the amount that we are willing to sacrifice for something. It becomes really valuable to us, right? So I would say to do this. So, okay. So your main question is, but I don't know how to deal with this big risk without fearing for my future. I don't want to go in doubting myself and expecting failure, because this feels like a bigger risk and challenge than I've dealt with before. So it sounds like your biggest challenge right now is the doubt. You doubt whether it's the right path. You doubt whether, you can do it. And that's okay. I've doubted most of the paths I've been on. At least initially. But what always seemed to kill the doubt is when I would throw myself in and work my tail off and just go for it. Then the doubt starts to quiet down, because at least I knew I was investing. At least I was trying. I was working hard. And so the doubt kind of goes away as the further on you go down this path. So it's normal to feel doubt. It's okay. It's okay to feel fear. Without fear, you can't have courage, right? I always I quote this movie. I don't even remember the movie, but they're like, it's okay to be scared. There's no courage without fear. And I'm like, okay, this is true. Because it's like a prerequisite to be courageous. You have to be afraid first. Or else it's not really courage. So here, you're feeling this fear, you're feeling this doubt. This is the perfect time to showcase your courage and to showcase your work ethic and your ability to focus and your ability to get into something and drive. And I know there's going to be doubts along the way. No matter what path you take, there's going to be doubt. No matter what path you take, there's going to be fear. If there's not, there might be something wrong with that path. If I go through life and I don't ever feel any doubt or fear or anything, I'm probably on the wrong path. Because I'm not doing something that's going to make any kind of a difference. And then when I get to the end result, I'm going to be unfulfilled and depressed and, not happy about it. Because that's how it's always been. Anytime I took a path that was really, really sure and secure, I finally get to the result and it's unfulfilling. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I require a little bit more drama in my life. Maybe, I don't know, than some people. But I don't know. It's crazy, man. I see so many people make so many career changes in their career path, and so many people talk bad about that situation and they can't figure out what they want to do and they have no focus and blah 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 blah. And it's because it's like, dude, no, they're just not doing what you think they ought to do, and you have an opinion. Shut your mouth. Hey, sorry. But I don't know. You're going to come against naysayers. You're going to come against critics. You're going to come against, and some of those people are going to be close to you. And they're going to be people you respect. And you're going to have to be like, okay, I respect you, but now it's time for you to respect me a little bit, maybe. So, man, there's a lot more I want to say, but I don't want to say because I don't want to offend anybody. Jeff, my healthcare career was 2 summers of college work study, a hospital where several in my family worked. Dad, 40 years, brother, 43. Mine was covering personnel, medical records, billing, accounting, and then the best, filing in a pediatrics office. Dad passed away my second summer with them, but they went on a hiring freeze and never asked me back. All right. Well, then Jeff went on to do radio and all kinds and broadcast and stuff like that. Right? August says, I've felt this with my own schooling a few times. To Ryan's earlier point, what if you try a path without a good selfless reason? I've always wondered if sometimes jealousy or concern can uncover passion. It's true. Sometimes it can. Hey, Tomato. Welcome. So, Anonymous, I would encourage you to go for it. Like Ryan said, don't be reckless. There's no sense in just reckless changing of everything, but there's also no sense in being on a path and sticking to something that's going to be unfulfilling for you. Because then you'll get there and you might have the money and you might have the house and you might have the picket fence and the 1.5 children and the 2.6 dogs and the whatever you got. and be the perfect, you know, you might have the perfect body mass index and your doctor never says you need to lose some weight. But I don't know, man. For some reason, I just get tired of everybody imposing their standards on me. Because when I try those paths, they don't work for me. They're unfulfilling for me. And I don't know, man. But I'll tell you what, if you really want to throw yourself off track, fall in love.
Nice.
That changes everything.
Yeah.
Fall in love and have some children. I love my children. They're the apples of my eyes. Right? But when you get into that realm, now that requires a lot of your focus. And so a lot of the things that you plan on doing might end up kind of getting pushed to the wayside. And then you're just in this holding pattern of work, try to provide. And it's tough. Never impose your standards. Pose next to your standard. Yes. You thought I was going to say fall in love with cabinets? You know, it's funny. I never thought I'd be a cabinet maker. I do enjoy the work because I like working with my hands and I enjoy doing things that are very highly precise. And both of those are present here. So I do enjoy that. It's not what I ever thought I'd be doing to make money, but it doesn't change the path. It doesn't change the vision of where we want to go. This is a step toward that vision. Right? So, I don't know. But crazy thing is, people can, we can get knocked off track by all kinds of different things. But I think this is a very smart exercise for you to do, Anonymous. This is very smart to reflect on your life, to try and figure out what it is exactly you want your life to look like, what exactly you want to be involved in. Something that fits you well. I think that's a great thing to be doing. But I'll tell you, I want to encourage you. It's never going to be, you're never going to fully be rid of doubts on the beginning of any endeavor like this. There will always be doubt. There will always be some misgivings. There will always be some fear. That's normal and to be expected, and no reason to not do it. Just because you have some fear and some doubt, it doesn't mean don't do it. It's like what we talked about in the last topic. We anything that involves pain must be bad, right? I've heard quote unquote wisdom from people that says, well, if you doubt yourself and if it looks like it might be hard, then it must not be the right path for you. Like, shut up.
It's pretty normal.
Yeah. There's always going to be fear and doubt. Always. If there's not, it might not be the right path. So it's okay. So I'd encourage you, go for it, man. But that's what I got. Ryan, you got anything else?
Have you ever watched the movie Edge of Tomorrow?
Yes. That's where that quote comes from.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Thank you.
It's one of the few movies I don't know any quotes from there. I had to look up where the quote was from, but it's one of the few movies I remember actually really enjoying. It's a good movie.
It's all right to be scared.
It's fun.
There is no courage without fear.
That's right. Anyways, no,
right before the plane explodes.
Yes, right. Of course, right. Right before they. Yeah, of course, right before disaster, as always.
Right.
No, I mean, I think I don't really have much more to say about this. I think Artie, I think I gave it my best, and Joe did a really great job. Um, so I just encourage you to don't consider either option the end. Consider either option an opportunity, like a chance, like an opportunity, a good, and you get to pick. Everything's a choice. You get to pick which one of those things you're going to try for. If you're thinking, well, this one's secure, the other one's risky, one thing I got to say is, are you going to let security be your master? You're going to be a slave to security. Tell you, I don't hate security. Security is not a bad thing. Security is a good stepping stone. And sometimes you're going to have it and sometimes you're not. There are plenty of successful people. If you want to go money, or if you want to say success is their family life, if you want to say success is anything, you can count every successful person pretty much has had to lose security in that field of success.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
And risk to move forward. If you have a relationship, a friendship, you have to risk and be vulnerable and risk your security in that friendship at times. And it's very rewarding if you get through it. Not everything you get through doesn't mean it's not worth it, just because it's scary. Because as Joe was saying, if it's valuable, it's going to probably require some risk. It's going to be scary. It's going to take courage. Doesn't make it any less valuable.
Right.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
Mm-hmm.
So I would encourage you, if you feel something for this, keep looking into it. If you have no qualms for it, going, maybe if you think this is a route that is good, then it's a good route. At least as far as you can tell. And you might, you have your options, and that's, I think it's not worth, security is important, but it's a stepping stool. So a stepping stone, a stepping ladder, stool to stone, whatever. Anyways, it's a point to build off of.
It's a stepping stool sample.
Yeah, it's a stepping stool sample. No. Gross. I want the whole stool. I don't want a sample of it.
The kind you step on, the kind that gets stuck to your shoe.
Who's putting sticky stuff on top of my stools?
I know, man. Crazy. Anyway.
Anyways, they're not for stepping anyways. They're for sitting. Yeah. Let's just sit in that. Anyways, yeah. So you have our take on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's your life. You could decide this, right? And we're not going to push you into, I don't want to push you in a direction just because it's the more risky one. I want you to make an informed, honest decision.
Yes, absolutely. Don't be reckless.
I don't want you to, I don't want to push you into a direction just because it's the secure one. I want you to make an honest, real decision.
Mm-hmm.
Your life is always on the line, which means you have to make decisions in your life. And any decision you make can be good, it can be bad. Here's the beautiful thing. In life, the reality is God will always leave an open door back to him.
Mm-hmm. True.
That's how it is. And in life, no matter where you end up, no matter how stuck you feel, there's pretty much always another way out. And sometimes you get real stuck. Sometimes you get yourself in a position where there's 15 people relying on you, and if you make the wrong decision, if you decide you don't want to be stuck anymore and you make that decision, well, you endanger 15 other people and so on and so forth, and you end up there.
Hmm.
It happens. But the reality is, you weren't stuck. And neither are they. And it's like when people ask you those questions. When people ask you those questions, like um, like you're on the train track and you have the option to pull a lever, and if you don't, you kill like 80 people that are standing on the train track, and if you pull it, you kill your best friend or something. Like they have these things. People always come up with these like mental games that are either you choose this or the other thing. Which one do you choose? But those concepts are not living or even contesting with reality. Because reality is way bigger, way more dynamic, and way freer, way more free than any of those scenarios. So no matter where you end up, if you take this option, it's not a dead end. You won't end up stuck. It's not a waste of time. It's not a loss of time. It's just how life went. And you always have the ability to move forward from wherever you end up. So don't be threatened by the options. Pursue the two options as if you're free. And there's nothing threatening you. Then ask, where do you want to end up? Go that route. Take it wherever it leads you. Probably won't be what you're expecting. In fact, I can almost guarantee it. And whenever you arrive, wherever that is, that probably won't also be the end, and you'll think of something new and go another adventure down. And that's good. Because we aren't asking for only one thing in life. I think we have so much more to offer. So there will always be more. And that's okay. And, many people, like my mom, ask, I don't know what my purpose is in life. What's my purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? And then finally it kind of dawns on them, and it's like, oh, I've been kind of fulfilling it the whole time, just not understanding that I have been. When I had kids, my purpose was raising them up. And I did that. But at the same time, my purpose was my job. And I was providing people with houses and helping them find things that, a living place and what's going to lead to their job because of their new location and all this kind of stuff. And, you fulfill many purposes. You fulfill many goods, if you will. And all of these goods are important and good. And so, as you go down in life, I would say don't expect any dead ends. Don't expect final decisions. Just expect paths that are going to, at the end, look like a vein. like your body's veins. Just and there's going to be one solid artery that's going to be you. And all the things you've chosen and all the goods you've done, and it can be a beautiful thing. So don't get caught up in this idea that Joe is emphasizing. Don't make a mistake. Don't go that route. You'll end up blah blah blah. You'll never be you never have money. Blah 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 blah. Don't do that. Don't be threatened by opportunity. Don't be threatened by options. Don't be threatened by paths yet undiscovered. Just be motivated by the good that you can do, and choose what you believe is going to be the best. Because that's all you really have the information to do anyways. There you go.
Perfect.
That's what I got. Perfect. You're perfect.
Nope. Definitely not. But thank you. I try to be perfect, and then I spill macaroni noodles on the stove, and I get mad at myself.
That's right. What a sinner. What a sinner. One noodle every time at least.
At least one. Usually 3 or more.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Joe.
So frustrating.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
What? Dude, I'm serious. It
You
is.
recognize
It's
how
not funny.
I know. I love that you recognize how ridiculous it is, and yet you do it anyways, and and it's just a really great statement. It's just so like
It
it's
just shows
beautifully powerful.
I'm
Yeah.
a high functioning neurotic.
Mm.
That's yeah.
That's okay.
So anyway,
You know what though? The
what?
opposite gets well, not really the opposite, but I used to have a very strong pet peeve, and that is I'd look at people's plates when they were done eating. I'd be like, there is so many crumbs on that plate, and I
Yeah.
can see the sauce
Clean your
just
plate.
wiped all across it. It's not even close to eaten. Like, seriously, do your job. Eat the rest of that.
Eat your
Scoop
food.
it all up into a little piles. It might take like 3 minutes to finally get that down, but it's something. What are you wasting food for? Or people cooking and they are like just whipping stuff up fast, and I see chefs on like online and so on and in shows all the time. They're just like scooping the stuff in the bowl and they put the bowl aside. And I'm like, there's so much left in that bowl, and that's all they're putting in the dish.
Mm-hmm.
No, why? Use all of it. What are you doing? They left behind like 3 noodles.
Yep.
That's me. So I get it.
I think I figured out how I'm gonna fix this though.
Okay.
And now I'm angry enough to want to do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna next time I take some mac and cheese and I'm making it, I'm gonna take a whole spoonful. I'm gonna slam it down onto the stove on purpose, onto the hot burner, so it burns into the stove top and cooks in there. Yeah,
Joe,
on purpose.
you and I, we would make a good team.
I mean, we've been doing this show together for ever. We've kind of been on the same team for a long time.
I know. I'm just saying. I think you're right. That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
You just go for it. You're like, fine, and you're like there. Because that's kind of what I had to do. I had to start just leaving some food and then I didn't care if other people did it anymore. But I understand now. It takes like 15 minutes to get the stinking 3 noodles out. Why waste time over those 3 noodles? Oh, it still drives me crazy a little bit. But you gotta get every kind of noodle out of there, Yeah.
Interesting question, Neon Side. Do I foresee doing the cabinet thing for a long time? That's a really good question. I'm not sure what I foresee there. Hopefully not. And hopefully it becomes more of a normal full-time job instead of like a double full-time job.
Yeah.
I've had some serious talks with your brother Ryan about this, and it's like, dude, okay. So 18 hours one day, 3 hours of sleep, and then 12 hours the next day, that is not a sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah. That is not.
Today I only worked 8 hours.
Hey, good job.
Because I had Don't Worry Wednesday. I think you should talk about it more. You think I should talk about what more? How long I plan on doing cabinet business?
Noodles? Maybe the
I should talk about it on Don't Worry Wednesday more. I should talk about
talk to bro about it. Yeah. Okay, I got it right. That's good.
Who's bro?
My bro.
Your bro.
Yeah.
How long until I start repairing cabinets with noodles? I'm doing it right now. I'm going to do it tomorrow.
Semolina cabinet.
Yeah. And I'm going to smash it
cabinet is
in
made
there.
out
I'm
of.
going to slam the drawer,
Yeah.
which you can't do with the drawer slides we do. You cannot slam any of this stuff. It's all soft close, right?
Oh, that's so cool. So cool.
It's like, I dare you to try and slam that cabinet door. It will not happen.
Mhm. So cool.
Yes. But anyway, all right. Yep. Anonymous, go for it. Don't be reckless. But don't get held back by what everybody else says. Don't feel like you're wasting your time because you changed a path. It's not a waste. It's not a waste. Ever. Sometimes the things we discover, the times we discover about ourselves the most, we look back and we're like, that was a time when I conventionally, the rest of the world would have thought I was wasting my time. But the building and wisdom and character comes out of nowhere right in the middle of that time.
Yeah.
Because there's more to life than career.
Mm-hmm.
But career is important.
Mm-hmm.
It is. What you're going to do, what you're going to do with your life, that's important.
It's pretty important.
And it's fulfilling to work. We're
is.
scared of working. But it's actually one of the things that brings us the most fulfillment. People who don't work are generally not very fulfilled. They're kind of they kind of die inside a little bit. At least I know I'm dying inside because I work too much. I'm like overworked. But that's okay. We're not professional chefs. Thanks, Sally.
One day I will be. If I make money on YouTube.
Jeff says, is the stovetop clean enough to just pick it up and put it on the pan? Purposeful spilling might work. Burned in noodles as wood filler. Is the stovetop clean enough to pick it up and put it back in the pan? Yes, it is. But you know what? It's still frustrating because you ever try to pick up a macaroni noodle on a hot stovetop?
And
get all the little cheesy stuff. It takes cleaning, right?
Yeah.
It's like when I get frustrated and stuff, like I just start doing things. Like, people don't like the way I load the dishwasher. So then I'm just like, you know what? I'm putting all the plates on the top rack. You change it. I don't care anymore. Yes, the lack of perfection and extra cleaning. Yes, that's it, Jeff. You get it. You understand. Because I know you, and I know you're also melancholy, and you're also, you value perfection and excellence. And yes, I understand. I understand you understand. Yeah, August, plates on the top rack because I know it's wrong and because I just want them to have to fix it because they've been complaining about how I put the stuff in the wrong place on the bottom rack. And so I'm like, fine, I'll just make it even more wrong and then you deal with it because you're going to rearrange my dishes anyway. So here. At least they're rinsed off.
I was about to say, that's my main question. Do you rinse them before putting in at least? If you do that, then I've got no qualms, man. Put them out how you want.
Yeah. It was always so frustrating. Ugh. I don't know. I'm angry now. You guys got me angry.
Yeah.
You're melancholy and choleric, and that other one. There's 4. Which of the phlegmatic or sanguine? I'm guessing phlegmatic.
I looked your dishwasher and Nyansai's and Ryan. Well, luckily Nyansai and Ryan share a dishwasher, so that one's pretty easy.
Definitely not sanguine.
Thanks, August.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I wouldn't have pictured you as sanguine. Yeah, it's just all the other 3. Right on. But you have some dysfunction in there because choleric and phlegmatic are like opposites. So so that's okay. But we're all a little dysfunctional. That's okay. Who is they? They are all kinds of people. Is they a victim of my anger? No, I'm a victim of their complaining.
And Joe becomes a victim of his own anger. Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes it's overwhelming.
Joe doesn't usually put his anger out on other people.
No, I'll just get quiet and get to work.
Mm-hmm.
But there are times when sometimes it's just a little bit frustrating, and I'm just like, you know what? You don't like the way I'm doing things? Fine, you do it.
Mm-hmm.
I say that to your brother. Because we work together all the time.
Yeah.
Yes, it's funny. But all right. Well, guys, we are over time. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thanks for the topics, Anonymous. Thank you, Akiri, right?
Yeah.
For the initial topic, and I'm imagining you're kind of probably sleeping since now it's like 4:30 in the morning for you. So yeah. Hopefully you're sleeping. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining us on this Don't Worry Wednesday. We love doing this show. We love hanging out with you guys, and we love you guys. And we're going to be back next week on Wednesday.
That's right.
For Don't Worry Wednesday, because it's not just a catchy name. It is actually on Wednesday. Unless you live somewhere where it's Thursday.
If you live somewhere where it's Thursday, you're wrong. Okay, that's not true. It's just it's just how it is.
Go there.
It's still Thursday. It is Thursday. I was only joking.
It's Don't Worry Wednesday, even when it's Thursday, right? Like that's
right.
That's the phrase.
That's in the show. Yeah.
Yes. So, yes. Thank you guys for being here. We love you. We'll see you next week on Don't Worry Wednesday. Until then, take really good care of yourselves and the people around you. And we love you. And we'll see you next time right here. Like and subscribe.
Wow.
Do it.
Again.
2 weeks in a row, I said it.
In a row. Nice.
Awesome.
All right.
Drink water, eat well. Thank you, August. Yes, we love you guys. We'll see you next time. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Peace.